We'll look forward to your company next time, right here on The Chase.
Tonight, cars swept away, roads become raging torrents as the southeast's flash flooding emergency spreads. Dozens of drivers caught out by rapidly rising water in Logan. Now the Army called in to kickstart the recovery. Every Gold Coast beach closed as all that debris becomes a major hazard. The bombshell cocaine link to the SeaWorld chopper tragedy as family remember their loved ones. The Aussie researchers who may have discovered the cure for diabetes. And stolen David Warner's baggy green goes missing.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Samantha Heathwood.
Good evening. The Australian Defence Force will be deployed to the storm-drenched southeast to clear roads and debris from the Christmas and New Year's weather disasters. Tonight, the onslaught of rain is finally beginning to ease as the system moves north.
After relentless torrential rain, a river rampage. Raging floodwaters seize control of a car on the Gold Coast, sweeping it away as the owner watches on.
Crap.
Oh. Further south, another dangerous crossing, but this time it was the bridge that washed away. Normally scenic rivers and creeks are now surging. Water like this surrounded a campsite at Natural Bridge last night, trapping travellers.
And obviously the water came up more quickly than they'd anticipated.
44 people were rescued, 12 others stayed behind and are safe for now, but there's more rain on the way.
Up to 350 millimetres in some parts of southeast Queensland.
It's a very dangerous forecast that we are facing over the next 24 hours.
The already saturated southeast struggling, the latest round of rain delaying the recovery of Christmas Day storms.
Pretty intense, yeah, lots of wind, lots of rain, and yeah, then all the back of the house blew in.
A roof of one of our houses came off and, you know, it's been terrible. I had a window fly at my face. I thought I was going to die.
Toby Bray has been unable to return home for 3 days. The road to home and his family is flooded.
It's all right for the moment. We've always got supplies and we're always ready for this type of thing. You know, it's happened before.
At Tamborine Mountain, nearly 5,000 are still in the dark.
We were going to have power back by the 5th, but they've lost 2 days because of this rain. So we've had nothing since Christmas Eve.
It's tough when you're 7 days into an event without power, and we get that.
Some of the parts of the power system have been obliterated effectively and they have to be rebuilt.
In addition to no power, the clean-up effort here has been stalled too. This home on McDonald Road was literally blown away on Christmas Day. It looks like a war zone with the clean-up effort unable to begin. It's being pummeled still by wind and rain.
Destruction in some parts of the Gold Coast and Scenic Rim and Logan. I've certainly never seen anything like it before.
Gemma Risk only bought her ice creamery business a month ago.
We had the tornado, heat wave after heat wave. We lost a lot of stock.
Now her family is out of pocket and running out of hope.
It's very scary because it's unknown.
Sleeping on camp beds in a back room because her home is flooded in, waiting for help to arrive, like Wesley Trevor, whose business has also taken a hit.
I'm not going to last very long. I just can't see it mentally. I can't see a way out of the situation.
40,000 plants at his nursery wiped out. It's likely he'll have to sack some of his 15 staff.
I'm lying in bed at night thinking about who I have to talk to, and it's going to, the money runs out pretty quick.
The state government announcing loans for those doing it tough.
This support includes disaster assistance concessional loans of up to $250,000 to repair or replace damaged buildings, plant, stock and equipment.
Another helping hand will come from the Army. 50 troops are being sent in on Thursday.
Those ADF personnel will be focusing on the clearance of debris to enable better access to essential infrastructure.
I'm not sure what the Army can do other than helping hands.
So I don't think it's going to be quick. You look at the infrastructure and it's pretty damaged.
Machinery and muscle needed for a mammoth clean-up ahead. And the extent of the devastation here really is hard to put into words. To give you an idea of the force of that mini tornado that blew through here on Christmas Day, this tree branch was blown from its trunk and propelled across this carport, crushing this vehicle underneath. The owner tells me that she was inside at the time, seeking shelter in her bathroom. That was 8 days ago, and 8 days later, still these people are living with this mess and without power. The hope is, weather permitting, that Energex crews will be able to get in here here tomorrow to help restore power to the thousands of people here that remain without it. But they are certainly, Sam, going to need all the help that they can get.
You certainly are. Rachel Baxter at Tamborine Mountain, thank you. Well, let's go to Ned Baum. Ned, a flood warning has been issued there at Beenleigh.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. The Logan and Albert rivers are expected to reach moderate flood level by late this evening. That comes after rainfalls between 100 millimetres and 200 millimetres in the catchment. In places like Cedar Creek, that received 309 millimetres, and Mount Tamborine, that received 252. 7 dams across the southeast are currently spilling, and releases from Somerset into Wivenhoe started this afternoon and will continue for the next couple of days. At this stage, there are no more scheduled releases, but with any more amount of rain, the risk of flooding increases. Shirtless, shoeless, and now carless.
Tried to get through the water thinking it wasn't as deep as it is, and before we knew it, the car was gone and I was on the roof calling the 000 to try and get us out.
Connor Sessions thought his ute could withstand the deluge on 2nd Avenue in Marsden.
Price to pay now, lesson learnt. Lucky no one was hurt.
The Logan thoroughfare, one of many swallowed by the more than 100 millimetres of rain in the past day.
This morning at about 6 a.m, this had water across the bridge, but it wasn't covered. Then within an hour, it was covered.
Taking dozens of motorists by surprise. Every car here is just cars that have tried to go through.
Yeah, and there's been maybe 15 that have been towed away.
Others were left stuck, waiting for waters to recede.
I didn't see the water, actually.
Your car's just not starting now?
Yeah, now not starting. I called my friend, to get some help.
Clark's Road at Logan Home, another reminder of the unpredictable nature of summer storms.
A car in the floodwater, the police and someone walking the road.
Dad, let's go home and get the fishing rods, there's fish jumping.
At Eagleby too, drivers ignored risks. A silver Mazda no match as roads turned to rivers. Swiftwater rescue crews and police searched for a reportedly missing man at Meadowbrook, but it was a false alarm, tying up vital resources.
State Emergency Services received over 700 calls in the last 24-hour period.
With heavy rain set to continue for the next 24 hours, there remains a high risk of flash flooding across the southeast. Motorists are being urged to avoid flooded roads.
Now is not the time to be out and about. If you're in parts of Queensland receiving torrential rain at the moment, the best thing you can do is stay at home.
We've got a lot of creek systems, they're now becoming wet, and there is that still ongoing risk of heavy rainfall, so that risk of localised flash flooding will also remain a risk.
Brisbane was forecast to be in the firing line, but so far has been spared. The greatest risk for flash flooding is now on the Sunshine Coast tomorrow morning.
The majority of the areas hit is probably the Caloundra and Kawana sort of suburbs.
For those not willing to take any chances, sandbags are available at all SES depots.
We're not taking any risks, so we all come together and get it done.
Could we see levels reach what they did during the course of the February 22 events? At the moment, it's looking fairly low, but I guess we've still got 24 hours to play out.
But in true Queensland fashion, be prepared for anything. Ned Baum, 7 News.
And Queensland Fire and Emergency Services Deputy Commissioner Kevin Walsh joins me now. Thanks for your time. How busy have crews been today?
Yeah, the crews have been extremely busy. Over the last 24 hours, the State Emergency Services received 700 calls, so they've been all out. We've had 220 people plus out on the field today assisting the community, and as you've heard today on the news, we'll get additional support from the Australian Defence Force in the coming days. So lots of work has been completed already, but much more to do.
Yes, certainly. So are there any areas of particular concern tonight?
Well, the good news is that the system seems to be easing, and obviously it's passed up through Brisbane into Sunshine Coast and Wide Bay, but it looks like we're going to get a reprieve in the weather. So that's the good news, and it will also provide us with a great opportunity over the coming days to continue with our recovery efforts.
That is a relief. Deputy Commissioner, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
To Jordan Quinn, and all Gold Coast beaches were closed today.
Sam, lifeguards made the call this morning because the swell and winds were deemed far too dangerous for swimmers. There is still a lot of debris and storm runoff rushing down waterways and out to sea. That has created hazards, but that hasn't stopped surfers from heading out. As surfers carve their way through surging peaks at Duranbar, behind them a torrent of muddy brown floodwater was emptying into the ocean, the result of close to half a metre of rain in 2 days. Debris from rivers and creeks is being washed into the sea and pushed ashore on the tourist strip's beaches. Tallebudgera has layers of it snaking across the sand.
There could be stuff that you don't see, logs, trees, even stuff in the water that's going to cause you ear infections and stuff.
Lifeguards closed every beach this morning. There's sea foam building on some sections of the shoreline. At Miami, the stormwater runoff has left its mark, carving away parts of the beach.
We're pretty surprised at the amount of people that are around still walking, so very committed.
An unusual sight at the usually bustling Currumbin Alley. Empty car spots in the middle of the summer school holidays.
It's good, mate. The storm keeps people away. We love it.
Strong winds whipped up wave heights 4 metres off the Gold Coast, 6.5 off Moreton Island, where wind gusts peaked at 89 kilometres an hour.
If you don't need to be out there for the next couple of days, it's a wise idea not to. The water's chocolate brown. It's not pleasant to be in. There's quite a bit of debris in the water.
Lifeguards will assess conditions tomorrow before deciding if it's safe to go back in the water. On the Gold Coast, Jordan Quinn, 7 News.
Now to Tony Auden, and what's the latest on the rain still falling?
Well, Sam, thankfully it's panned out pretty much as expected today. That rain clearing southern spots this afternoon, with the main focus lingering over the Sunshine Coast at the moment. Nothing too heavy over the last few hours, but we do need to watch a line of heavier rain offshore at the moment. It is potentially tracking towards the Sunshine Coast over the next hour or two. Now, looking ahead, the rain should generally start to break up into showers later this evening, and then those showers are expected to hang around overnight and through tomorrow. They'll bring some short bursts of rain and gusty winds, but not enough to worsen any existing flooding or flash flooding. The severe weather warning is now cancelled. Sam, I'll be back soon with the latest.
Thank you, Tony. Well, shocking new evidence has revealed the pilot killed in the SeaWorld helicopter disaster had taken cocaine in the days leading up to the crash. Investigators have also detailed safety breaches on board the doomed flight, exactly 1 year since it claimed 4 lives.
There were hugs and tears as the family of Ron and Diane Hughes left flowers at the scene of what should have been a joy flight.
We were fishing that day, so yeah, it was pretty full on.
12 months on, new information about pilot Ash Jenkinson, a drug and alcohol management plan supervisor, but on the day of the crash had low levels of cocaine in his blood.
When you're a pilot, there should be no trace.
A toxicology report found he likely ingested the substance 1 to 4 days before his death.
It is unlikely to have had a contributing element in this factor, and that's because of the low levels that were found.
But the interim report by the Australian Transport and Safety Bureau found cocaine can have harmful effects on pilot performance, including risk-taking, inattentiveness and poor impulse control. The report also found seatbelts weren't fitted properly aboard his helicopter. Out of respect for the victims and their families, SeaWorld helicopters grounded all flights today, marking a sombre anniversary of one of the country's worst aviation disasters. But then, as Ron and Diane's family paused to remember them, one SeaWorld helicopter did take off. On board, the Premier and the Mayor on a reconnaissance flight to inspect damage from the storms. From the victims' family, for the Premier or not, we think it's disgusting. On the Gold Coast, Amanda Abate, 7 News.
Police have issued a public appeal for information following a murder in Lowood this morning. Officers were called to the Walnut Crescent home when a member of the public located the body of a man on the front lawn. A crime scene locked down part of the street today as forensic crews combed over the property. Detectives want to speak to anyone travelling in the region between 4 and 5 a.m. No arrests have been made and investigations are continuing. Japan has been rocked by a deadly earthquake, killing dozens on New Year's Day. The 7.6 quake shattered towns and villages, sparked fires and triggered a tsunami alert from South Korea to as far as Russia.
Suddenly, violently, Japan's west coast in the brutal grip of an earthquake, magnitude 7.6. The shaking did not let go for around a minute. In this newsroom, a cameraman starts recording as colleagues duck under desks. At a shopping centre, as stock fell from shelves, customers fled or froze. Collapsing buildings, throwing up clouds of debris. This home sent tumbling. The destruction sparking fires that burned into the night. In the snowfields, Australian tourists caught up in the terrifying tremors. This Adelaide family high up in a gondola when it hit.
It was very scary, but it happened so quickly. So, we kind of didn't really process it. And we were stuck on the gondola probably for about half an hour.
Before making it safely back down.
津波です。助けに来てください。
Seeing the damage to her neighbourhood,
助けに来てください。
this woman says we're in serious trouble. Please help us. The military being sent in with roads in the region cut off, tens of thousands without power. TVs flashed alerts to evacuate, the first major tsunami warning since the 2011 disaster. There were fears of up to 5-metre waves. They reached about 1 metre, the alert downgraded. But with many aftershocks already, Japan's Prime Minister warning.
To remain on alert for more earthquakes to come.
As rescue teams search the ruins for survivors. Paul Kadak, 7 News.
A South Korean politician has been attacked live on television, and we warn the following footage is confronting. The opposition leader was stabbed in the neck while speaking to reporters. Witnesses say a man asked for an autograph before suddenly lunging. He was wrestled to the ground and arrested at the scene. Lee Chang-myung was reportedly conscious when he was taken to hospital, and his injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. The parents of Olympic cyclist Melissa Hoskins have paid tribute to the mother of 2 hit and killed on the weekend. They say not only have we lost a daughter and sister, her children have lost their mum. She was the rock of their life and ours, and we need to honour her memory so they can grow up knowing who she was, what she stood for. The 32-year-old former world champion died after allegedly being run over by her husband Rowan Dennis near their Adelaide home. David Warner has launched a nationwide plea for help to find his stolen baggy green. The Aussie opener says it was pinched somewhere between Melbourne and Sydney, and he's desperate to get it back before his Test farewell.
This should be the most celebrated week of his career, but instead David Warner is searching for his most prized possessions.
Someone has taken my backpack out of my actual luggage, which had my backpack and my girl's presents in there. Inside this backpack was my baggy greens.
Warner believes the baggy greens were lost while being flown from Melbourne to Sydney by Qantas.
We've gone through CCTV footage. They've got some blind spots apparently.
In a statement, Qantas says, "We appreciate the importance of this bag and we're doing everything we can to help find it."
It's sentimental to me. It's something that I would love to have back in my hands walking out there come this week.
Warner has long cherished the cap that so few ever get the honour of being presented with, often speaking about his love for it during his 12-year career.
It's something that I've, cherished ever since I've been given it by, Michael Slater, and it's just such an honour.
I think there should be a countrywide search right now from the Australian government.
Chappelle Corby even weighing in, commenting on Warner's social media post, "Qantas, well, do I have a story for you?" Warner is so desperate for the return of the baggy green in time for tomorrow's test that he's even offered a no questions asked reward.
If it's the backpack that you really wanted, I have a spare one here. You won't get into trouble. Please reach out to Cricket Australia or myself via my social media.
Jaleesa Rapps, 7 News.
Taylor Swift fans fleeced in a scalping scandal. The warning ahead of her sold-out Australian shows. That's next. Cheaper medicines on the way for Queenslanders. We have the list. Why Denmark can't wait for Mary to be Queen. And why Disney's locked in a bitter battle to save Mickey Mouse.
I've been
cheated by you since I don't know when.
I love him. I'm in love with him.
Yeah, I've been broken hearted.
I've been preparing for this moment my whole life.
You'll be my American boy, American boy. Oh, yeah.
You know what? I've got to stop wondering.
Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all.
We just found the next Australian Idol.
Thank you so much.
There are singers, then there are idols.
Australian Idol starts Monday, Jan 29.
Last leg, race 7, the Valley. Take on the fun of this Magic Millions Carnival. Ladbroken. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Anything designed to carry the human body must be relentlessly refined and tested. The unique Sealy Posturepedic spring system senses and responds, working to align your body so you can get straight into your day.
The perfect school shoe is all about fit. But what fit means to your child is different to his child and her child. Because she plays netball at lunchtime and he's just hanging out in the quad. She'll be running for the train, he'll be running laps. She's allowed to wear runners, he has to wear something formal. Oh, they look good. And for comfort, you gotta try these. You see, the perfect school shoe is about more than just the right size. It's a personal best. The athlete's foot. Now that's fit.
Now, we all know Kerry's my favorite, then Kev, then David, then Mike. But the rankings can always change.
I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
Thanks to Vanish, you can revitalise your whites, even in short and cold cycles. Our Oxy-Action formula lifts away stains, removes odours, and helps keep your whites from greying over time. Clothes live longer with Vanish.
At the Nick Scali January sale, everything is 20 to 50% off. The biggest Nick Scali sale of the year. 20 to 50% off everything. On now at Nick Scali.
A man has died after diving into Manly Boat Harbour to retrieve an item that fell from his vessel. Police say the 46-year-old entered the water just before 11 o'clock last night, surfaced once but wasn't seen again. Water police and divers scoured the harbour overnight. The man's body was found this morning. Denmark is going wild for its future Australian-born queen, with locals convinced our Mary holds the key to keeping their country's monarchy alive. Mary and Crown Prince Frederik received a hero's welcome during their first public outing since the surprise abdication.
On a wet winter's night, cheers for the girl from Hobart who will be Denmark's queen in less than 2 weeks.
She's very popular among the people.
The Crown Prince and Crown Princess at Amalienborg Palace for the abdicating Queen's New Year's banquet, a centuries-old tradition. But tradition here is being upended.
A very exciting time. It's not happened in 900 years, so this is just extraordinary. It's a historical moment.
Queen Margrethe making way for her son with his Aussie bride by his side.
She has a tremendous sense of duty. She's always very, very well prepared.
The Queen's abdication, a genuine surprise for the Danes. Margrethe is the first monarch to step down here since the 12th century. It was clearly a closely guarded secret, but there is speculation now it was all part of a grand plan, with Mary playing a key role.
We needed some down-to-earth normality, and she really brought that. And over the years, she developed. She's now she's becoming a queen.
Who could be the key to the future king's success?
I think she will help him in his role by being her, being the person she is. She's got a lot of dignity.
Who is accepted here as the Australian Queen. This is where the Danish Prime Minister will proclaim the new King Frederick and Queen Mary, the balcony of the Danish Parliament on January 14. It'll be a new experience for all because they won't be mourning the death of the previous monarch, just celebrating the new. And there is a consensus here that this is a path laid down by Queen Margrethe. Just a few weeks ago, Prince Christian, Frederick and Mary's eldest son, turned 18 and swore an oath of allegiance to uphold the Constitution. He will be the new crowned Prince. Mary, well and truly ready to be Queen. There is history to be made here in the weeks ahead.
It's very exciting. Hewitt Feld, thank you. Well, Taylor Swift's Aussie fans are being warned to beware of scalpers selling fake tickets to next month's sold-out Eras tour. Some tickets, originally sold for $370, were found listed for as high as $2,000.
If the markup on the ticket is more than 10%, in most states in Australia, that means that the ticket is not being sold legally.
Consumer experts are warning fans to stick to the official site Ticketek, which is the only licensed reseller for the event. An extraordinary move following Parole outrage. Next, the backflip, keeping one of Jack Beasley's killers behind bars. Pinned by an out-of-control van, a shopper's incredible survival. Brisbane's house price surge, the new record high. And the diabetes breakthrough that could end daily injections.
Don't forget about the stars.
I am happy anywhere I am with you.
The sky. Don't delete my baby. Don't defeat her still.
Hey, Aiden!
Don't defeat my baby. Aiden! Don't delete her still.
I promise you, we'll find her.
Into the hands of grace. Don't delete my baby. I'll find the feeling.
Home and Away starts Monday 7 o'clock on 7 and 7+.
Airguard has protected Aussies from insects for over 60 years. In comes Airguard Home, protecting you from pests around the house with a targeted trigger spray and biokill technology. Airguard Home. Kill pests, protect the rest.
Why choose Dreamworld for summer fun? Because there's so many wonder-filled worlds in one. Make memories that thrill with world-class coasters and giant drops. Make memories that soar on the brand new Big Red Planes. Make cool memories in the brand new Splash Zone. Or make memories with furry friends as you explore native Aussie wildlife. Ready to slide into some summer fun? Head to dreamworld.com.au for the best value theme park tickets on the Gold Coast.
Absolutely everything is on sale right now at Freedom. Get up to 30% off all sofas and furniture, up to 55% off all mattresses, and up to 40% off all homewares. Hurry, sale on now. Only at Freedom.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks, eh?
2 all-chicken patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun. You heard correctly. It's the Chicken Big Mac. And it's back.
For over 10 years, Dulux has protected Australian surf lifesaving clubs, buildings that have survived every Nippers graduation, every scorching day, and every stormy night. Because nothing survives like Weather Shield. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
The Plush January sale is on now, with up to 50% off everything. Save up to 50% off everything.
She's got the love.
At the Plush January sale.
Is Pantene Nutrient Blends as good as a $100 salon brand? Twins put it to the test. Its nourishing formula without sulfates repairs damage for salon quality smoothness. Get salon quality repair for less.
A woman somehow survived when a car ploughed through a shop in Sydney, pinning her against a wall.
Oh, she's all right. She's okay? He's all right. Don't close the door.
She was taken to hospital with hip and leg injuries. The 52-year-old driver fled but was later arrested and has been charged. In an extraordinary development, the Queensland Parole Board has overturned a controversial decision to release one of Jack Beasley's killers. It comes after his parents were blindsided by the original parole decision. The violent offender was due to be set free in a fortnight.
Jack Beasley was just 17 when he was fatally stabbed in Surfers Paradise 4 years ago. His parents horrified at the thought of one of their son's killers being set free.
We're hoping and praying we can get this over to him.
Those hopes and prayers have now been answered, but only after mounting pressure from Brett and Belinda Beasley, who were blindsided by the parole board. They were told they had 21 days to respond to the parole bid, but 4 days later they received a shock email that the board had already decided to release the instigator of the attack in 2 weeks.
This guy's he's a grub and he needs to stay inside.
He was 17 at the time and sentenced to 7 years for manslaughter, while a then 15-year-old who was armed with the knife was convicted for murder. This morning, the Corrective Services Minister announced a review.
It's important that the circumstances are reviewed.
But then a rare backflip from the board, revealing late this afternoon that this morning it had cancelled its decision. The killer's criminal history started when he was 12, committing property offences, violent crimes and robbery. He was on bail when Jack was killed, but released again. He then carjacked an Uber driver.
After so much frustration with the parole board, Brett and Belinda Beasley say they're absolutely overwhelmed. Their son's killer will now stay behind bars.
It's understood he will have 14 days to appeal. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
A dual Australian-Israel citizen has been killed fighting for the Israeli army in Gaza. Lior Sivan was serving as a tank commander when he was ambushed by militants. The 32-year-old reserves captain was born in Melbourne and moved to Israel with his parents as a toddler. Captain Sivan was married with a 2-year-old son. His wife is due to give birth to a daughter next week. The federal government is being accused of not doing enough to protect the nation's $370 billion nuclear submarines deal. Senior Trump advisers have criticised the new AUKUS arrangement, saying the United States doesn't have enough boats to supply Australia.
Undermining AUKUS.
Air bearing 345.
Two senior advisers to Donald Trump have warned against the nuclear submarines deal.
I think there's a real risk with AUKUS going forward.
Claiming the deal is crazy on its current timeline, worried the US doesn't have enough nuclear subs of its own.
I wouldn't jump at shadows at these particular comments. I'd never heard of these particular two individuals.
It comes after US Congress passed laws allowing the sale of 3 Virginia-class boats to Australia.
We're taking things from them and not contributing anything. That gets hard, particularly if Australia hasn't done some of the obvious heavy lifting, like building a new East Coast base.
Brisbane, Newcastle and Port Kembla, possible sites. But the Albanese government has delayed a decision by a decade.
We remain very confident that there is strong cross-partisan support in all 3 countries for the AUKUS arrangements.
The Prime Minister is under fire for refusing to help in the Red Sea, Iran sending a warship after the US Navy destroyed 3 Houthi boats.
American forces killed 10 Houthi rebels.
The US election will be held in November, and as Donald Trump's popularity grows, pressure is mounting on the Australian government to do more to reassure our biggest ally. Donald Trump ahead of Joe Biden in the latest polls.
I think he's entirely transactional as a leader, and if he thinks it's bad value for America, he won't care what previous commitments were made.
Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
2023 proved to be one of the strongest years for property value growth across the country. A new report has revealed Queensland ended the year on a record high. Anna McGraw explains.
The PropTrack research confirms December rounded out a big year with home prices rising 5.5% nationally, and Brisbane led the way. Prices rose by almost 11% and are now 57% higher than March 2020. The median house price now sits at $783,000. Similar to for regional centres, the rest of the state recorded an almost 9% rise. The average house price outside Brisbane is $634,000, up 60% in 3 years. The report names the Sunshine State as one of the country's top property performers due to high levels of migration and population growth post-COVID.
Aussie researchers are toasting a life-changing discovery as they close in on a cure for diabetes. Details on their breakthrough next. The heart-stopping moment a ute spins out of control. A factory inferno sparks a toxic smoke alert. And the cheaper medicines that'll save Queenslanders thousands.
Opening batters were a special breed. They faced the best and the most brutal bowlers.
But one man defied them. David Warner changed cricket as we knew it. Be there as one of our greats farewells the game.
The third test, followed by a Big Bash double, Wednesday on 7 Mate.
We all need fibre for our digestive health, but 70% of Australians don't get enough each day. Good thing Metamucil gummies are an easy way to get prebiotic plant-based fibre, with more fibre than a whole cup of broccoli. Metamucil gummies, the easy way to get your daily fibre.
Here's how Leon lost 17 kilos on Noom weight.
Noom taught me the different types of hunger. I didn't realise boredom was one of the reasons I ate. Now I'm in control of my own journey.
Keep it going, Leon. Sign up for Noom weight and lose the weight for good.
The King Living Summer Sale is on now. Save up to 50% on Australian-designed indoor and outdoor furniture. This summer, come home to King. Sale on now.
Creepy at all, eh?
Oh, that sucks.
It's a good thing you're with Budget Direct, Australia's most award-winning insurer. He does love his trophies.
Congratulations.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Yes, things have never been so sweet. It's why we're getting under your feet.
Mortein PowerGuard Multi kills crawling and flying insects in seconds and protects on surfaces for up to 1 week.
More smart, more safe, Mortein.
Come on.
How's pitching that tent going, mate?
Almost got it up.
Treat ED with Pilot today. Pilot. Hard, made easy.
Huge discounts are happening now at Beacon. It's Australia's biggest fan sale and our massive stock take sale. We're discounting Australia's biggest range of fans plus a huge selection of lights. Hurry, it's time to shop Beacon.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now with 20 to 50% off everything. 20 to 50% off everything during the January sale. On now at Nick Scali.
A dash cam has captured the dramatic moment a ute rolled on the Diagla highway. The Mitsubishi overtakes the car towing a caravan on a bend. It loses traction in the wet, swerves onto the wrong side of the road before overcorrecting, crashing into a culvert and up the embankment. It rolled 3 times before coming to rest on its wheels. The driver was taken to Ipswich Hospital in a stable condition. Australian researchers are closing in on a breakthrough cure for type 1 diabetes. In a life-changing discovery, they've identified drugs to potentially eliminate the need for round-the-clock insulin injections.
Eliminating reliance on insulin injections or pumps is a dream for many living with type 1 diabetes. That's now a step closer to reality.
We are repairing the damaged pancreas of individuals that are living with diabetes.
It's really hard to convey how exhausting it is managing being an organ all the time, and the prospect of being able to be my full me is really exciting.
Researchers at the Baker Heart and Diabetes Institute have discovered a way to regenerate insulin production in those living with the disease.
We've harnessed stem cells that naturally are present in the damaged pancreas and stimulated them and instructed them to make insulin again.
We found 2 drugs that influence the pancreatic stem cells to behave like insulin-producing beta cells.
The two drugs identified by the researchers are already approved to treat rare cancers in America. Now the research is published. Preclinical testing will begin this year.
The therapeutic pipeline now is to test this in animals.
Researchers hopeful the breakthrough treatment could be available within a decade.
The idea now is to invest with industry and commercial partners to fund the gap in research funding.
There's the possibility that for all of us, we might be able to say at least goodbye to some of this 24/7 job.
It could also be life-changing for up to 30% of people living with type 2 diabetes who also require insulin. Sarah Jane Bell, 7 News.
An out-of-control factory inferno has triggered a toxic smoke alert in Melbourne. Around 20 workers had to be evacuated from the scrap metal yard with piles of metal recycling and rubber on fire. Fire crews remain at the site trying to bring it under control. The cause of the blaze is yet to be found. A man has had a terrifying close call with a crocodile at St Helens Beach north of Mackay. Richard Brookman was fishing in his tinny when the reptile leapt on board.
You get that eerie feeling that something's watching you. He went underwater. Before I could move out of the way, he was in my boat on top of it.
His tinny almost capsized before the croc slithered back into the water, making for a very memorable fishing trip. Well, Mickey Mouse in his earliest form will soon belong to everyone. This early draft has become public domain. So what does it mean for Disney? That story's just ahead on 7 News. It's sport time now and things are far from Mickey Mouse for one of our cricketers, Alyssa.
Yes, Sam David Warner. Good afternoon, everyone. Just ahead, the opener's public plea for his baggy green and Cummins' hopes of more Warner wonder. Plus, the Demons' ominous start to the summer. That's next.
Yes, things have never been so sweet. It's why we're getting under your feet.
Montine PowerGuard Multi kills crawling and flying insects in seconds and protects on surfaces for up to 1 week.
More smart, more safe, more team.
Here's how Audrey lost 15 kilos on Noom Weight.
Noom's lesson that really helps me is the behaviour change. I'm aware of what triggers my bad habits, and now I'm much more mindful.
Love that thinking, Audrey. Sign up for Noom Weight and lose the weight for good.
This month we have unbelievable savings on our stylish range of shutters, all 50% off. And we also have 40% off zip screens, blinds, curtains, awnings and security screens. At Factory Direct, you get luxe for less.
The Plush January sale is on now with up to 50% off everything. Save up to 50% off everything.
She's got the look.
At the Plush January sale.
This summer at Macca's, value means more than ever. Like our loose change menu, which now comes with a lot more sharing. There's also more family time, thanks to the Macca's bundle range. And rewards and deals every week on the My Macca's app mean more reasons to treat yourself. Whatever it means to you, value means more at Macca's.
Uncover timeless, healthy-looking skin with Olay Regenerist. Formulated with bioavailable niacinamide, it reduces the look of up to 10 years of wrinkles in 28 days for firmer, plumper skin. Olay, recommended by dermatologists.
Claire stayed in this amazing hotel and paid this much for her room. Jess stayed in the same hotel and paid a lot less. How? Let's go back. While Claire found her hotel on her usual booking site, Jess found her deal on Trivago. Have a look-see, Claire. Trivago pulls hotel offers from different booking sites in one place, so you can easily compare prices and find your deal. Hotel Trivago.
Anything designed to carry the human body must be relentlessly refined and tested. The unique Sealy Posturepedic spring system senses and responds, working to align your body so you can get straight into your day.
Take your hair care naturally from 0 to 100. Try herbal essences with 0 paraffins, parabens and colorants and 100% certified argan oil for naturally nourished hair.
On the eve of the pink test, Pakistan's captain Shah Mashood has joined calls for David Warner's baggy green cap to be returned. As reported earlier, Warner's offered a reward for the cap, his own skipper determined to give the gun opener a great farewell from Test cricket.
High above the SCG to ground level, Pat Cummins likes what he sees up close from the pitch.
Yeah, looks like it's decent coverage of grass, so should be a good week ahead.
We're hoping for a little bit of good carry and then for it to break up later on in the game.
And turn?
I'll definitely turn, yeah.
Optional training attended by those who love batting. Not David Warner before his final test. Red or white ball cricket, Cummins all praise.
Yeah, Warner week started. I think of him when he first came into the scene and really changed Test cricket. I think he's our greatest three-form player.
Also keen, the gun opener and part-time leg spinner has a fairy tale finish.
100, maybe a leg spinner maybe to take the last wicket of the game or something. I only just thought of it then when you asked.
Before his media conference, Cummins was unaware Warner's baggy green caps were missing. Once photographed sleeping with the famous headwear, ironically keeping an eye on it. From Pakistan, sympathy.
I hope they find it, but yeah, it's the most precious sort of thing for any cricketer, and I hope David Warner gets it back.
6 of the last 7 SCG pink tests have been interrupted by rain. Tomorrow's forecast, though, fine. Days lost to rain, nothing compared to family loss. The pink test, raising funds for the McGrath Foundation and cancer awareness. Cummins losing mum Maria to the disease last March.
Pink test is always going to have a special place in the heart of our family, and this year even more so. 2 shock changes for the tourists, axing opener Imam Ul Haq and pace spearhead Shaheen Afridi. Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
You can catch the third test between Australia and Pakistan, David Warner's farewell, from 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on the screens of 7. Right now in Mumbai, our women have gone into bat after winning the toss as they target an ODI whitewash against India.
Put away beautifully. Once again, great hands, great use of the feet, and a 4 to village field.
They're off to a steady start, averaging a run a ball. The ladder-leading Heat have suffered another washout, not a single ball bowled against the Sixers. Tonight's Melbourne Derby clash has started on a similar note. The Renegades have arrived in fine fashion, but it's the Stars in red-hot form, winning 3 of their last.
Yeah, obviously it's not great for us. You know, we want to get a full game in for the fans, and then we also, need to win every game.
The clash hinges on a nasty storm with play so far delayed. Severn's coverage starts straight after the news. Rafa Nadal makes his long-awaited singles return tonight at the Brisbane International. Officials hoping they won't lose another major draw card. Overnight, Andy Murray was bungled out of the first round, while today, Aussie Arena Radionova continued a stellar start to the season.
With Ash Barty and Bub watching on, a wild card stunned an Oz Open champion.
An exclamation point to take out the first set.
Sophia Kenin controlled the second, saving a marathon 17-minute game to lead 5-2. Then Arena Rodionova went supernova, winning a 2-set upset. Disappointed there wasn't a third.
I usually play my matches like around 3:15 hours, that's my favourite time, and it's only 2:24. I mean, gotta go for a run now, I guess.
In stark contrast, Sir Andy's horror start to the Aussie summer. World number 14 Grigor Dimitrov handing the Flying Scotsman a first-round exit, 2-1.
Had to keep on fighting, I had to keep on finding my shots and going after my game.
In Perth, the Joker played through pain, calling time-out as Czechian Jerzy Lehečka chased an upset in their United Cup clash. It proved to be the magic touch, Djokovic finishing how he started 6-1, 7-6, 6-1.
Thankfully, I managed to finish the match, and let's see what happens now.
That's a date with the Demon. If Serbia reached the quarterfinals, Australia's place was secured overnight. De Minaur dispatching world number 10 Taylor Fritz in straight sets.
It's been a demolition from De Minaur. Such an impressive display.
I think today was a little bit of a new year, new me type of thing. So,
Mitch Crone, 7 News.
The Roar are on to their fifth coach in just 13 months. Days after signing a 2-year deal, Ben Khan will make his managerial debut against Sydney FC at Suncorp. The appointment comes little over a week after the shock departure of Ross Aloisi and the record equalling 8-1 annihilation that followed. The unlikely run of 16-year-old British darts player Luke Littler is turning into a national fairy tale. He's the youngest player to reach the semis at the World Championships.
There is no sign of this teenage dream coming to an end. Luke Littler sweeps aside another brilliant darts player.
Maybe the product of misspent youth, but the boy from just outside Liverpool has all of England behind him. How great. That is sport, Sam.
Fantastic. Thanks, Alyssa. Well, let's check finance now. And it was a strong start to the year for the Aussie share market. The ASX 200 now just 5 points away from a record high. 10 of the 11 sectors were up, but gains were modest. Insurance Australia Group took a hit, with investors worried bad weather will see a spike in claims. And the Aussie dollar is buying 68.2 US cents. A number of medicines are now cheaper under the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme. Lynparza will be expanded for Australian women with newly diagnosed advanced ovarian cancer. It destroys cancer cells and would otherwise cost patients hundreds of thousands of dollars. Calquence is being made available for patients with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and Orkambi will be expanded for 1-year-olds with cystic fibrosis. Now let's take a look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, a full preview of the iconic pink test. Glenn McGrath joins us live ahead of the first ball being bowled.
Plus, the things that you should stop paying for in 2024, the billions of dollars that Australians are wasting in loyalty tax every year.
See you in the morning, Queensland.
Well, Mickey Mouse now belongs to the people. What does the copyright expiration mean for Disney's beloved cartoon? Details next. And the rain is now easing.
And I'll have the forecast coming up after the break.
We all need fibre for our digestive health, but 70% of Australians don't get enough each day. Good thing Metamucil gummies are an easy way to get prebiotic plant-based fibre, with more fibre than a whole cup of broccoli. Metamucil gummies, the easy way to get your daily fibre.
Yes, things have never been so sweet. It's why we're getting under your feet.
Montane PowerGuard Multi kills crawling and flying insects in seconds and protects on surfaces for up to 1 week.
More smart, more safe, more team.
Kickstart your weight loss goals with new Jumpstart Pro by Light and Easy. Jumpstart Pro combines on-the-go high-protein breakfast shakes with your choice of nutritious chef-designed lunches and dinners.
What I love about Jumpstart Pro is that I can have one shake for breakfast and then it's mixed up for the rest of the day with really healthy food for lunch and dinner. I've lost 16 kilos with Light and Easy. I'm feeling great, I'm feeling a lot healthier, I'm feeling a lot more confident.
Visit lightandeasy.com.au now.
My boyfriend Elliot, he lost his memory. Wherever he is, he's in trouble.
They have done some terrible things.
You must have had a reason.
I'm ready to answer for the things that I've done.
Hungry Jack's new Texan Bacon Deluxe. Crispy bacon with double flame grilled beef, Texan smoky barbecue and creamy peppercorn sauce. The new Texan Bacon Deluxe. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. At the Nick Scali January sale, everything is 20 to 50% off. The biggest Nick Scali sale of the year. 20 to 50% off everything. On now at Nick Scali.
Xero, beautiful business.
There's a feeling that comes alive during holidays in Australia. You can hear it, see it, feel it in the air, embrace it in the moments, in the water, sun and sand. It's the long days relaxing and evenings for fun. It's that feeling of the summer, memories made for years to come. Enjoy every moment at Ingenia Holiday Parks.
The biggest rivalry in the Big Bash just got bigger. Adam Zampa has made a big decision here. The World Cup winning star has switched sides, and it's gonna get personal. Just adds to the bad blood between these two. The Big Bash Melbourne Derby, next up on 7.
This weather report is brought to you by Ingenia Holiday Parks. Enjoy every moment.
The original version of Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse helped launch a global empire. Now it's free to be used by anyone. After more than a century, the copyright on the first image has just expired.
He's the spindly-legged Mickey Mouse, the earliest version from the 1928 film Steamboat Willie that transformed Walt Disney's fortunes. But today, after nearly a century, this Mickey is everyone's Mickey.
I kind of feel like the pipe on the steamboat, like expelling smoke. It's so exciting that it's finally here.
Disney's copyright on first draft Mickey and Minnie has expired, allowing creatives to use the images without permission. The entertainment company at pains to warn the more modern versions,
"Hey everybody, it's me, Mickey Mouse,"
are still covered. Disney spent decades fighting.
The term was extended, so as of 1978, it was extended to 75 years, and then so we would have gotten Steamboat Willie in 2004.
Finally running out of puff, and it's taken less than 24 hours for the beloved cartoon to morph into a gory killer. Infestation 88, a survival game where players are hunted by Steamboat Mickey, a precedent set when rights to Winnie the Pooh expired earlier this year. Disney said Mickey will continue to play a leading role as a global ambassador, even if the pioneering mouse is out of the house. In the United States, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
Weather now, and Tony, skies are about to clear up.
And not a moment too soon, Sam. After another soggy day across the southeast, the rain has started easing back and should continue to clear overnight. It was a cool day thanks to all of that precipitation. Tops in the mid-20s for most spots, though Coolangatta managed to jump up to 28 degrees late afternoon. A more heavy rain right across the region overnight and this morning. Then it has contracted up towards the Sunshine Coast this evening. The severe weather warning has been cancelled, but we could still get some bursts of heavy rain from this really well-defined line of heavy showers currently tracking for the Sunshine Coast. The rain is expected to continue easing back to showers later this evening, but they could continue through the night and for short periods through tomorrow. We have minor to moderate flooding in the Logan and Albert catchments, and stream rises are still occurring for much of the Sunshine Coast too. Now onto the forecast. If you're headed interstate tomorrow, watch for storms if the destination is Melbourne or Canberra. Warm tops of 27 and 29. A dry day in Sydney for the first day of the test. Back to northern Queensland, the heat wave continues right across the board. The odd shower for coastal centres as bigger storms stay west of the ranges, 26 up to 34 degrees in Townsville. In the south, Longreach could rustle up a storm and a couple of passing showers for the coast and ranges, tops of 30 degrees in Hervey Bay and Gympie. Across the southeast, that rain easing this evening. Those couple of gusty showers still possible for all coastal spots tomorrow, less likely inland, but they'll be short-lived if they happen and they won't worsen the flooding. Warming up again as a few more sunny breaks return, especially into the afternoon. Tops of 29 degrees along the bayside, a few inland spots nudging into the early 30s, 21 up to 31 degrees for North Lakes. Bodie's winds gradually easing. South-southeasterlies to 25 knots on Moreton Bay early, back below 20 knots around lunchtime, below 15 knots in the evening. You'll still need to watch for debris near the river mouths. So in Brisbane, a shower or two, but many more long dry breaks in between those short bursts of rain, 21 up to 30 degrees. Looking ahead, mostly sunny by Thursday and even hotter, a forecast maximum of 32 degrees. Then the chance of showers increases again into Friday and Saturday afternoons. They should pass through quickly if you get them though, so don't expect any worsening flooding. 32 degrees in Ipswich on Friday. On the Gold Coast, 29 and 28 on Saturday and Sunday. Any showers most likely Saturday afternoon. And Sunshine Coasters, a possible sprinkle and 30 degrees on Thursday. Then that chance of rain bumps up about 70% on Saturday afternoon. Sam, the rain is almost cleared, but we still need to be careful of floodwaters for the next couple of days.
Tony, that's all from us this Tuesday. Thanks for your company. From all the team, have a good night.
A bunch of